It's John from aMTBer Products, and it's time for another Chainwax Podcast. Real quick, I did take a look into this fluorescent stuff that they're using to show if their product is in all the grooves and crevices. Thought that was pretty clever. And when looking into it, what it is, it's a specific fluorescent dye that's used in synthetic and petroleum-based fluid systems. Basically, it was designed to find leaks in systems, but it does work with other lubricant type substances, and it seems to be sort of an inert ingredient that they've used. Now, I don't have anything like this in my products, and don't plan on putting anything like that in mine because you don't really need it. Our product, the way it's applied, it's going to sit right on top of the chain, and you're going to push it in using our 3-headed brush or the little blue brush that comes with it. So the 1-minute process of cycling the chain, here in this older video we're just using a regular toothbrush, but the 1-minute process of just working it into the chain is all you need. So that's how we do it. 1 minute of doing this, it's in all the grooves and crevices. So yeah, our technique is a little different. It doesn't really require that, but I thought that was pretty clever. I got to give them a credit for that. It is a very interesting way to use a product. So it is a UV fluorescent dye that's added to the chain lube, engineered to work with any host fluid without damaging the fluid's properties or the system's components. So, it's pretty interesting that somebody took this, designed to find leaks in hydraulic systems and other things, and figured out a way to use it in their chain lube to show if you did a good enough job applying it. Very brilliant. So this would be for like an oil-based type chain lube to see if you've actually got it in each roller. Now with ours, it's not much of a worry. You're not doing a 1 drop per link method. Typically, you can just roll it on a section of chain. Just put it onto a section of chain and push it in with the brush. Work it for 1 minute and you're done. Very simple. It's a 1-minute recoating procedure, which the host of videos that are out there, it takes a half hour to watch some of these videos. Some of these videos are an hour long, but the whole point was to streamline this process down to 1 minute or less. 1 minute of cycling the chain with the new lube on ensures it's in all the rollers and crevices. You can even do 2 small, like say 2 half applications, like don't do a full application, do a half one, do another one, just to get used to using the product. And then once you've used the product, it's so simple. Now, Squirt is coming out with a new wax melt product. So it's designed to go into a crock pot. I don't think they're selling their own crock pots yet. But so now what they've come up with is a formula that's a boron nitride based formula, like ours original formula was and is still. But it looks like they're really making some efforts to try to mimic what we've come up with in longevity, but yet they still want you to buy a crock pot. The wax is still about $50 or more, and you have to remove the chain and you have to strip the chain completely. One of the things I noticed in their marketing for their new wax dipped product is they're not emphasizing that you have to strip the chain completely sterile. That's going to be key into making it work. They also have very, very narrow operating temperatures for applications. So you have to have your wax exactly 85 to 95 degrees centigrade, whatever that is in Fahrenheit. I've not bothered to figure it out. You have to swish it in the wax for 3 to 5 minutes. So not only do you have to get your crock pot exactly the right temperature, you have to swish it in there for 3 to 5 minutes. They also say there's a lack of compatibility with any other wax drip lubricants, only Squirt drip wax. Now that's curious right there, because Squirt drips wax, they've actually designed this to work with this, which means it's the same 4 or 5 waxes, synthetic and natural waxes, that are in the Squirt to work with this crockpot dripped wax. So basically, you're getting a squirt wax product with some extra ingredients in it. The boron nitrite that we have had for 9 years, 10 years in my product. It's been on the market for 8 years now, and in development for a few years prior to that. So what they've done is they've made a version that is compatible with their original chain lube. It has properties ours has, but it doesn't get rid of any of the headaches. You still got to strip the chain. You have to soak it for 3 to 5 minutes, swishing it around with your hand over a hot crock pot, 85 to 95 degrees centigrade. Specific temperatures, because the blend of waxes needs to be in those temperature ranges to actually liquefy properly, to adhere properly. And we've eliminated all of this completely from the equation. You just put the product on like any other chain lube, work it in for 1 minute or less, wait 15 minutes and ride. There's no long drying time. There's no overnight drying time. There is no breaking in the new wax period, which is still a problem with all crockpot dip chains. So that's something I wanted to point out. Now, their product has really good longevity. It's about double of what the best was prior to them. It's only about as good as what ours is. Now, I've been doing a lot of homework here to get ready for this podcast. I've been doing quite a bit of homework here. And I want to point out something now that Zero Friction Cycling has been very dishonest about for a long time. And just while this professor here is showing about torque and how amazing it is, these are the forces we're combating when we're doing lubrication on our bicycle, especially the chain. And the torque involved in the chain is quite a lot. I mean, you're putting your entire body weight through a little tiny piece of metal, 1 or 2 rollers at a time, and you think about those forces that are going on there. Okay, so let me get to the point here. I'm going to let him speak right now. Let you hear this.
For both, so molten speed wax, Silka hot melt just as is standard. For me, and I'm sensitive, so I will start to notice the wax treatment sounding and feeling dry, normally at around the 6-hour mark, maybe at 8 hours if it's been sort of.
All right, so all those claims of these top performers, molten speed wax, Silka hot wax, he's saying to you right now, the most he gets on his mountain bike is 6 hours. 8 hours if it's not very dirty. I've been saying this the whole time. These guys are now reacting to me calling them out on their lies. That's what this is. He has no choice now but to admit this. Let's let him say that again.
Less dusty. But around that 6 to 8 hour mark is about normal, where it's like, okay, it's clear to me now that treatment is sounding and feeling dry through the, you can feel it through the pedals, you can hear it, audibly. It's out of that silky smooth quiet zone now.
Do I need to say anything else? So what he's claiming is no better than what I've been claiming from day one with my first 3 products. These are the first 3 products. Now, the 5311 takes it a step further. Now you're going to get into the extended time. The kids that were racing for Plant Power Racing were getting 150, 200-mile training rides in on the 5311. They were getting over 150 just on these ones in the beginning, the 1.2 and the Smooth Lube original formula. So, the 5311, which there's a shot bottle there on the left, and now the Chain Prep original formula on the right there, they have not outdone these 2 products in all these years with all these claims. That was Zero Friction's Cycling's second to last video about a week ago, where he divulged he only gets 6 hours without having to re-wax his chain. Now, that's not convenient. It's not cheap. You're breaking the quick link every ride. And it's everything I've pointed out in all these podcasts. Is this cycling's most dishonest marketing? I absolutely believe it is. I believe this is completely dishonest. They are trying to get you to spend $200 to set up a single crock pot system, and using their strippers, using their degreaser waxes, or you can use a stripper, plus their endurance chips and their base waxes. You're talking $200 minimum to get started, and it's really pushing more like $300 with all the different drip lubes you need to buy and different waxes and strippers. Now they're pushing a 2 crock pot system. Clean your chain. Let's get into this dirty chain cleaning thing. Now, I just saved this screenshot here about re-waxing your chain. Most videos are going to tell you to strip it. They're going to tell you to either use a stripper, or they're going to tell you to put it in a pot of boiling water to melt off the wax, and most of the dirt will come off with the wax in boiling water, which I don't believe that works at all. Now, there's several things about it that are really bad for your chain. One is boiling water on the stove. The water might be 200 degrees at the surface, 212 degrees at the surface, or a little more, but down where the chain is sitting on the metal at the bottom, right above the flame, that part of the pan might be 500 degrees or more. So you are deheat treating your chain. You are doing heat damage to the molecular structure of your metal in your chain that was set to certain specific parameters by the chain manufacturer to have these 1,000 pounds per inch torque. I forget now the torques that they come up with, but it's in the multiple thousands of pounds per inch these chains are designed to handle. Somewhere around 25,000 pounds an inch, something like that. It's been many years since I've seen that data, so please forgive me. It's about the point. When you are heating up metal and cooling it down, you are changing the molecular structure of the metal. Now you start adding all these chemicals to it. This is where the phenomenon of cracked chains is coming from, especially on e-bikes, but it's even happening on people without e-bikes. Some of it can be attributed to knockoff chains coming out of China, but I don't think that's the case all the time. I think that some of these people who are doing these waxing processes and degreasing processes are chemically altering their chains and changing the molecular structure of the metal with the heat-cool process. It's just like doing the opposite of what a samurai sword creator would do. They're optimizing the sword to be as strong as possible. The chain you buy out of the box is already like that. And as you go up the price range, it gets better and better. But when you start heating it up and doing this backyard chemistry without any idea, what you're really doing, you're setting your chain up to have a short life, possibly break on the ride, and this is what is being promoted. So endless videos from channels like this and many others. Okay, I only point out this channel often because they try to slam every other channel out there. I mean, every other lubricant out there that doesn't meet their protocol of what they consider a legitimate test. Now, I've looked at their top list here. This is very recent. The squirt wax is supposed to have these great numbers, okay? These are not real world numbers. Oops. And unfortunately, it's pretty blurry. The screenshot came out pretty blurry. But this is their latest graph, and I was looking at this pretty carefully, looking at all these numbers. There's a lot more that they showed in these numbers that they had published in the second to last video. And they're basically going along this line here, trying to tell you how much money you're going to save. Now, this cassette here is $660. The one here I'm showing on the picture right now. The parts are getting so expensive. I remember a good cassette was $60 back in the day. A good racing cassette was about $100. So yeah, waxing your chain is super important to make these parts last longer. But when it comes to the chain, that's an entirely different story. The chain is the part taking the load. The chain is the part that wears out faster than any other part on your bike. And these techniques they've been promoting are sending you down an expensive path that doesn't necessarily give you the results they're claiming.
All that sort of stuff. What type of bike? For me, on my mountain bike, for both, so molten speed wax, Silka hot melt just as is standard. For me, and I'm sensitive, so I will start to notice the wax treatment sounding and feeling dry, normally at around the 6 hour mark, maybe at 8 hours if it's been sort of easier trails and less dusty.
He said it. I don't have to say a thing. Now, our product out of the bottle, this product right here, either one of these three will give you that right out of the bottle. I would say go with the Formula 1.2. Okay? You will get that with Lube and Schleiden original formula here on the right side too. Our left side, sorry. You will get that. And this is now our chain prep formula, which was originally designed to top off our crock pot formulas, which I just did that for myself. This was my home way of solving the problem when nothing else really existed. This reliquefied my crock pot wax, redistributed it, added some more goodies to it, and I was getting my 50-mile, 70-mile training rides in with this top-up formula, which led to this, the first no crock pot formula, and then Formula 1.2. So what his claim is, out of his own mouth, 6 hours is all he's getting. Before it's time to re-wax your chain in a crock pot again. That is just way too time consuming. Even if you're just doing 2 or 3 hour rides, that means you got to do it every other ride, every third ride at the longest, because if you go any longer than that, when you're out there and you start to feel it grinding, you're putting weeks and months of extra wear on in that one ride, where you're not riding an optimized chain anymore. You're riding a basically bare metal chain. Their wax products do not have the stuff I have in mind to keep it bonded. Even when the wax wears out, there's still protection. All right, I'm fumbling around here with all the buttons. Sorry about that. And, I've got a lot more to discuss. It's been 2 weeks since I've done a podcast. Life is really caught up in a big way with just so much going on at the same time. I don't have a minute to spare. Trying to get all the orders out, trying to get everything else done during the day that has to be done, taking care of all the animals, and you know how it is. So right now it's Southern California. It's going to be 100 degrees next week. Real bummer, going straight from winter, straight to summer weather. And, it really takes its toll on me, takes its toll on my animals. It's not fun to ride in when you're not prepped for it. And meaning it takes me about a month to acclimate to that kind of weather. So I'm going to be taking it easy and get through this weekend here. Maybe get a couple of small rides in. Well, it's early, but it's going to be 100 degrees Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week. When we just had rain, wind, very cold weather. We actually had a winter here in Southern California. So lots of videos out there saying the best chain lube. Well, we think we're the best chain lube, that's for sure. I don't think anybody else has put the amount of hours that I've put into developing this product, into their products. I don't think anybody's come close. And we're talking about 35,000 miles of me developing this line across all the different bikes, coming up with application techniques nobody's thought of for a product with the viscosity nobody ever considered would work. And we have so many different products now in the line. This is the Uber Clear. This will be a good one for almost everybody as well. This is the mountain bike version of 5311. It's basically, it's like 5311 on steroids. I would suggest start with 1.2 or 5311 to get used to using the product. And then if you have an e-bike, you're going to want to use the Darkmatter. It's a technique that's easy to learn, just takes a couple minutes. Here I am teaching GBN how to use the product back at the Seattle show in 2019. They were very impressed with the new solution to an old problem. Goes way back to lubricating things that are exposed to the environment, way back hundreds of years, even back as far as the Wright brothers with their chain ring sitting right next to his head with a bicycle chain running those propellers on the very first airplane. Okay, so the brake rotor restore formula is almost ready to go to the website. This is a picture. I don't have very many new pictures of it yet, but we've solved that problem as well. I solved that problem 4 years ago, and I thought, well, it's such a small market, but it didn't take me much to put this together. as far as packaging and whatnot. So this is one of the sample bottles. Did a long-term storage test, and it came out just as silky as when I first created it. And we're going to put that on the website as soon as these labels get done. So no more contaminated brake pads, no more contaminated rotors. Easily fixable now with this little bottle it'll be under $10. It'll probably be a bigger bottle than this, probably be a 2-ounce bottle. This is just a 1-ounce sample. But yeah, we're going to put this out there real soon just to show these other people that I'm actually using chemistry and not gimmicks and not stealing from other people. These are things I create out of my own mind, and I'm trying to bring them to the world without people ripping me off, stealing my ideas, trying to mimic my products with no success 8 years later. I guess it should be a compliment. Take it as a compliment. Got plenty of Darkmatter shot bottles in stock. I think it's about $50, $55. Really good deal. And this will last you all year. They all come with a free applicator brush. All the shot bottles come with a free applicator brush. And all the 4-ounce bottles come with a small paintbrush to work it into the rollers once you apply it. One link at a time, or run the whole chain like a regular lube and just push it in from the top down through the bottom. Cycle it for 1 minute, and you've got yourself the most optimized race chain on earth that's made everything else obsolete. Every other chain lube is now obsolete. Unless you want to spend a half hour cleaning chains and warming up crock pots and taking chains off and breaking quick links and stuff, that's what you like to do with your free time, you go right ahead. I like to ride with my free time. And I like my chains to last a long time. And 68 hours with all that you got to do that Adam just admitted in his last video, it's a bunch of marketing nonsense. All right, guys, thanks so much. Wrap this one up. aMTBer Podcast, the Chainwax Podcast, episode 28, I believe. Thanks so much.